Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Jason. Hopefully you guys can see me behind this ginormous 12-volt compressor fridge. This is the NEWAIR 80-quart dual zone 12-volt compressor fridge. Now it might look like a cooler to you, but there's actually a compressor inside like the fridge in your house, and you can set the temperature and there's no ice needed. Now these usually run off DC power, so you usually need, a car cigarette port or a portable power station to power one of these. But NEWAIR actually came out with a solar kit and battery that they're selling now. So I believe it's available for $4.99 on their website. We're going to be doing some extensive testing to see if it's worth it. Now, just to give an update on this, I did a review video about a year ago, and my brother-in-law is building a house and he's been using this nonstop for 8 months and it's been working really well. Now, during this video, I am borrowing it back from him. Let's go ahead and do some testing and see how it does. Now, this is what the battery looks like that comes with the kit. It's actually a 3S lithium ion battery rated at 173 watt hours of capacity. Now you actually pop this in on the side of the fridge, there's a cover, you remove that, and then this clicks right in and locks in place. Now once you power it on, there's 4 LED lights that tell you how full the battery is. Now because there's no voltage regulation or overhead on this battery, it's just the raw output from the cells, I'm expecting quite a bit of runtime off this fridge when using this battery. Okay, let's go ahead and do a run test on the internal battery. So I have the freezer side set to 12 degrees and I have the fridge side set to 37 degrees. Now I did have this plugged in and pre-cooled and then put my food in, unplugged it, and now it's running off the internal battery. Now it's around 70 degrees in my room in the basement, so this will give us a good idea how long you can run the battery at a 70-degree ambient temperature. I'm tracking how long it's gonna run. Let's go ahead and see what happens. Now this is what the fridge display looks like. You have the temperature for each zone, which is really neat. This is the large zone and this is the small one. I have the fridge set to eco mode and the battery protection set to low. And what's really cool is it tells you the incoming voltage of the battery and it gives you an icon to tell you when the battery's getting low. Okay, so it's been about 4 hours. It's still running on the battery. Now looking at the battery indicator, it's showing about 50% of the capacity remaining. So maybe we'll get 8 hours. I'll go ahead and keep on watching this and I'll let you guys know. Okay guys, I came down to check on it and I noticed that the screen was showing really low battery. The voltage was sitting around 9.7 volts. The fridge was still running and when I was filming it, it actually shut off. So we got a total of 15 hours of runtime at 70 degrees ambient using the internal battery. Okay guys, very impressive testing results at the 70-degree ambient. Remember, we got 15 hours of runtime. Now, if you crank up the temperature to about 85 degrees ambient temperature, you're gonna get around half the runtime. So I'd expect around 7 to 7.5 hours off this internal battery. Now, if you crank the temperature up to 100 degrees or more, the compressor is going to be running nonstop on this fridge. If you have it set to eco mode, it's going to pull around 40 watts consistently, and it'll be around 3 to 4 hours runtime off this battery. Now, those are the results if you have one side set to a freezer and one side set to a fridge. If you have a fridge-fridge combo, you're going to get a little bit more runtime, and if you have a freezer-freezer combo, you're going to get a little bit less runtime. Now, a perfect use case for this would be, hey, you're on a road trip and you don't want to take a power station with you because it's just simple, you're staying at hotels. What you could do is, when you stop for dinner, you could unplug this from your vehicle. It's going to run off the internal battery. And then whenever you're back from dinner, you come back to the car, start it up, plug this in, continue on your road trip. It will charge it back up. Now, here's the solar panel that comes with the kit. It's rated at 100 watts. Now, there's a nice rubberized handle on the top. It's very lightweight, very thin, easy to carry around. Now on the top you have a Velcro strap that holds the pocket closed, and inside the pocket you have a 10-foot extension cable with a 5521 barrel connector that plugs right into the fridge to charge up the battery. Now you can easily Velcro that down, and then it comes with 2 kickstands, one on this side, one on the other, that prop it up to get you more power in the spring and fall. Now opening up this panel is super easy. You open this Velcro flap and then it's a bifold design, so it's very easy to set up. Now you have 2 halves here and it has this PET coating. Let's go ahead and take this outside to see how many watts we can get charging on the battery, and also we'll test the solar panel itself to see how much output we get. Okay guys, we're outside. Let's do some solar testing on the fridge. Now I have the battery plugged in and it's currently charging off the solar panel. Now it's a really clear day. It's around 40 degrees, so I'm not too worried about the sun heating up the fridge at all. I just want to see how much power we get out of the solar panel. Now, if it was hot outside, I definitely recommend not leaving this in the sun, but because it's so cool today, I'm not worried about it. So normal conditions, you'd want to have this over in the shade and then this just some sort of extension cable barely in the sun. Now there's no screen, so I have a inline watt meter to track the power usage. So currently the fridge is off. So we're just testing charging the battery right now. So let's go ahead and see how much power we're getting in just by charging the battery. Okay, so we're charging at 44 to 45 watts, getting 3.88 amps in, and the battery voltage is actually sitting at 11.5 volts. Now this is a 3-cell lithium ion battery, so it'll be full around 12.6 volts. And this is what the manual says. It says you're going to charge around 45 watts if you just have the battery charging off the solar panel. Okay, so I just turned on the fridge. Let's go ahead and see how much power we're getting through the solar panel, if it's still staying around 45 watts or if it's allowing more power to power the fridge and charge the battery at the same time. Okay guys, with the compressor running, it looks like we're still charging at 43 watts. You can see we get a little bit of voltage drop on the battery because of the compressor load. So unfortunately, we're not charging the battery and running the fridge at the same time. It only charges the battery. Now, when you have the fridge set to eco mode, it only pulls 40 watts. So it looks like if you have a solar panel plugged in, you should be able to keep it at the same state of charge while the compressor is running. And then when the compressor turns off, it will actually charge up the battery. Now we notice the battery actually has a 5521 barrel jack on the side of it. So I plugged the solar panel into it, and my watt meter is showing that we're charging at 45 watts. So you don't have to have this plugged into the fridge to charge it. You can actually charge it separately if you have a solar panel plugged into the battery itself. Okay, so the last test I want to do is actually see how much power we're getting from the solar panel. So I have a couple things plugged in the back of it. Let's go ahead and see how that's set up. Okay, so I have my Blue Sky MPPT solar charge controller. It's a very efficient solar charge controller, it does really well. So I have the power from the panel plugged into this, and then I'm charging up my lithium iron phosphate battery. Let's go ahead and see the amount of power we're getting in from the solar panel. Okay guys, with everything connected up, we're getting 16.17 volts at 3.8 amps, sitting right around 61 watts of power. Now this is rated at 100 watts, but we're not quite getting that much. I did adjust the angle of the solar panel, and this is the most amount of power that I saw. Okay guys, we're back inside. Let's go ahead and discuss those testing results. Now we'll start with the solar panel. Now remember, this is rated at 100 watts, yet we only saw 61 watts output. Now that was using a high quality MPPT solar charge controller. We had the panels angled properly, and there were really good solar testing conditions today. So I was quite disappointed to only get 60 watts out of this. For example, another 100 watt solar panel that I've tested on the channel, you'll get normally 85 to 95 watts, which is much more power than 61 watts. Now, why is that an issue? Well, if you're getting 60 watts maximum output in really good conditions, if haze or clouds come in, you're not going to get the minimum 45 watts needed to run the compressor on this fridge and keep the battery going. So the battery will run down over time. So if you wanted to run this indefinitely, you're going to need a higher output solar panel. Now, the other thing I noticed about this solar panel is that it has a PET coating. Now that coating works well, but it doesn't last quite as long. It will basically last about a year, and then you'll see some yellowing, cracking, and even peeling of this coating. So there are better options. For example, ETFE lasts much longer than PET, so I always recommend that my viewers pick up a solar panel if possible that has ETFE. Now with this coming in at a price point of $250, say the battery was $250 and this was $250, I think there are some better options out there instead of this solar panel. For example, you can pick up this Xtar SP100. This panel puts out 113 watts. It's the same size as this panel, and it has ETFE, and it's priced at $250. So you can go out and purchase something like this that will last longer. It puts out almost double the power, and it costs the same. Okay, so now that we talked about the solar panel, let's go ahead and talk about the battery really briefly, and then we'll conclude the video. Now, I do feel the battery is totally worth it. It's small, it's lightweight, it fits right in the fridge, it doesn't take up any additional space. I think it's a really cool design to have it so it can actually charge the battery when it's plugged in, and then when you unplug the fridge, it runs off the battery. So this works great for, day trips. If you're taking this to a barbecue and you want to bring all the drinks along with you. If you want to take this on a road trip, it'll work really well because it'll run off your car DC output, and then when you turn your car off and the output is disabled, it still has the battery running. So there are some really good use cases for this battery. So if you split the cost right down the middle, $500 right down the middle, it'd be $250 for this, $250 for this. Yes, I feel that this battery is a good price at $250. However, with this being priced at $250, I think there's some better options. So would I recommend purchasing this kit price at $500? I don't think so with the performance that you get. Now, if they drop the price on this to a reasonable amount, it might be worth it to be able to pick both these up as a kit. But a lot of my viewers already have solar panels, so they could plug any 12-volt solar panel into the 5521 and it should charge up this battery. So what I would recommend is that you could split these up, have the battery be able to be purchased by itself at a cheaper cost, and then have the solar panel purchased at a cheaper cost. Then you can get which one that you need. Anyway, that's my recommendation. I've been very happy with NEWAIR products in the past. For example, this 12-volt compressor fridge has worked flawless, haven't seen any issues. I definitely would recommend this if you're looking for a giant 12-volt compressor fridge. I'll include the link to this and my review video down in the video description. Also, I have a NEWAIR Nugget ice maker that I've reviewed also in the past, and it works really good. If you're a fan of that soft, chewy ice, you can get that in your own house by using that as well. So very impressed with NEWAIR products. I just feel that this kit misses the mark a little bit on the price per performance. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. I'll still have all the links down in the video description to see what these are and how to purchase them if you're still interested. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later.